Is Alan Izawi. I'm the CEO or the Chief Development Officer of the Lourie Center for Children's Social and Emotional Wellness. I want to thank you all for attending the 2020 CRE Connect Summit Virtual Edition. Also want everyone to know how immensely grateful the Lourie Center is to be the Summit's cause partner for 2020. I'd like to start out by sharing a very short 3-minute video to tell you a little story about the Lourie Center. Alicia, please.
He had very low self-esteem, very bad feelings about himself, and really no ability to express negative emotions at all.
It was a struggle trying to make him do homework or trying to even to make him draw.
Matthew has unusual sensitivities. It's called sensory integration dysfunction. Things that don't bother normal people bother him.
They're trying everything that they know to help their child and feel like they're not getting anywhere.
The future of our community lies in our children's well-being.
In 1983, some of the greatest minds in child development created a place where children like these could learn how to foster positive relationships with their families, caregivers, and friends, so that they might reach their full potential.
Reg Lourie was a clinician and a very talented one, but not a researcher. And all of us were researchers. He had the perspicacity, I guess you call it, to bring us all together and give us a chance to communicate with each other.
The most enduring contributions that Reg made was, I think, inspiring the whole concept of working with infants and young children.
Through groundbreaking research, Drs. Lourie, Brazelton, Greenspan, and their colleagues developed a model to promote the social-emotional health of children and families as the foundation for healthy development through prevention, early intervention, education, research, and training.
I don't suppose any of us expected the center to become as powerful a model as it has, and to be as widespread and people's knowing about it, the use of the research that's come from it. So it's lived up to all of our dreams. And I would say it's a center that's made our dreams come true.
Dreams that are built on the growth and development of healthy relationships that lead to a lifetime of endless possibilities.
Before I say a few more words, I really have to thank several people. The entire Summit team that put this event together and had a vision for this event 2.5+ years ago. Seema, Christina, Helen, Keyshawn, Noel, Karsten, Kelvin. You all have become family to me personally. And I cannot thank you enough for how much love and support you've given to me, but certainly how much love and support you have given to these most vulnerable children at the Lourie Center. So the video you just watched tells you about the Lourie Center, but more importantly, it tells you why the Lourie Center exists. I want to take a few steps back. These past 7 months, we all know that we've experienced 2 significant crises, the COVID-19 crisis and the economic crisis. Sadly, we're still in the depths of these 2 crises, but there's a 3rd crisis that literally is just around the corner. In fact, Christina made a very important comment about this in her remarks. It's literally here. And this is the mental health crisis. It's a crisis that will not only impact all of us as adults, but it will especially have the biggest impact on our littlest children who are most at risk. What makes this so important is that we must prioritize this. We now know that kindergarten readiness is the best predictor of life readiness. Any of you who are out there as a parent with a preschool age child, there's nothing more that data shows today that having a child age 5 who is ready for kindergarten is the best predictor of their life outcomes. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more in a few moments. First slide, please. Carla is one of 25% of children who will experience one traumatic event by age 4, and 67% of children by age 18. Traumatic or adverse events could be anything from divorce, death of a parent or a sibling, verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, bullying. There's just a lot of issues that occur in a very young child's life that have such significant impact on their young developing brain. This experience will impact the rest of Carla's life. And if she does not receive social emotional support prior to age 5, we know that Carla will end up being one of 3 children overall and one of 2 children from a low-income family who is not ready for kindergarten. Next slide, please. Carla, Dante, and Kristen are 300% more likely to be expelled from preschool than K through 12 students. And just to put that into context, every single day in this country, 250 children ages 3 to 5 are either expelled or suspended. That's more than 50,000 children annually in that age group who are basically kicked out of daycare or preschool, and the options for parents are very limited. And often what happens, we need to think about, if there's one takeaway from my remarks today, all of us as a society need to be thinking about asking this one very simple question. How many of us have been out in public? How many of us have been out anywhere? We see a child acting out, and we immediately might be defaulting into this thought: I wonder what's wrong with that child. The question instead we need to be asking is, what's happened to that child? And this framework and this teaching is at the core of how we really help children who have been exposed to traumatic events in their life that make it difficult for them to really function at a young age, thus often leading to their suspension or expulsion. When you consider that children who are expelled or suspended in preschool are more likely to drop out of high school and later to become incarcerated, it's clear that these children are trapped in a vicious cycle. Next slide, please. The Lourie Center has been engaged in decades of research. We have been published nationally and internationally. We have presented nationally and internationally. Our research supports our impact. We have an 80% success rate of transitioning preschool children to public school kindergarten. Children show academic and social gains further through 2nd grade. We also reduce suspensions and expulsions. Next slide, please. So what are the consequences without early childhood intervention, early intervention at a preschool age? This is all data, all research. There is a 40% likelihood that this is Carla's future, teenage pregnancy. A 70% likelihood this is Dante's future, incarceration, and a 60% likelihood that Kristen will not attend college. Next slide, please. With the support we are receiving from you, our sponsors and attendees today, you all have the opportunity to rewrite their story. Instead of a preschool to inequity outcome, you are helping to help these children achieve a preschool to life-ready outcome. Please keep in mind, the Carla that you are looking at right now is meant to be the Carla you saw much earlier in the slides. In just 15 to 20 short years, Carla, Dante, and Kristen are your future workforce. And so we must prioritize our investment in these at-risk and vulnerable children. Before I close, I was hesitant on sharing this, but I would like to put this appeal out to this audience. As you know, 50% of the net profits from the sponsorships in the event, 100% of the ticket sales are going to be a contribution to the Lourie Center. We are based in Rockville, but we have a digital footprint in Prince George's County and DC. We serve more than 4,000 children across the entire DMV. We are in the midst of an expansion out of our Rockville office. The intention is that we will be able to serve an additional 100 plus children from across DC, Northern Virginia, and Maryland. It's a $2+ million campaign. We just about 4 weeks ago had one of our prominent donors who made a $100,000 matching gift. So basically, as I'm sure many of you know, every dollar we raise, this donor will match $1. We are now at $95,000 of that match. And so I would love to at least reach out to this group here and just make an ask to consider if you want to make an additional contribution. I think there is a link somewhere on this page to be able to make an additional donation to the Lourie Center. Would love if we can get at or above the additional $5,000 to get us to that $100,000 match or more. We would be immensely grateful. I know I can speak for all of the children at the Lourie Center, how grateful they would be. And I will just simply close by suggesting and offering that if anyone would like to come out and see the work we do and why we do this work, we're a staff of 170 extraordinary people, of licensed clinical social workers, special education teachers, psychologists, psychiatrists, who have devoted their life to ensuring that these children achieve their fullest potential. And as a dad myself, although my children are in their 20s and early 30s, you know, certainly I can say when I look back, there's nothing more important than to seeing your child reach their potential. I also will just add, this issue of what we call adverse childhood experiences or traumatic events or toxic stress that occurs early in a child's life, there is no demographic that it does not touch. It is true that it is disproportionate to low-income families and families of color, Black and brown families, and that has been a big part of our mission at the Lourie Center, to ensure that we are embedded in the community and we are serving more than not the most at risk of these families and children. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for supporting the Lourie Center, for investing in these children, to my colleagues and family for all that you've done for me in the last couple of years, your love and support. You are truly changing lives for children. And I'd love to meet any and all of you if you would like to learn more about the Lourie Center. So thank you so very much.